Good morning. Lama control sama shansa lo Dzogchen Ranyak Patrul Rinpoche. Dzogchen Ranyak Patrul Rinpoche. Ni je chimbo tso deni mihi, zoni manam chimbo nga jatap. Pekarta ngap sen tu hjormato, donba tu je chana sorvande. Jagar penchen pula kadanche, pe malin tron kalandiro me. Tarta lono sumbu kananze, Orgyen Rinpoche la sorvande. Shōman chūji inji pōchōne tūsōng sōngji kanji ngōwan. Rōngsān chūka ngōnsa tānzi p'tsāwala mīxabla. Sōrwāndi dōsōn rōglo na chūla yir. Sōsōn dūngā chinda chē chincha. Nyar sōme pōng hiwā jila sō sānchiān tānda nyir dā dāngchan. Tāmbā nān jilin tā tsār dā sō. Gondō xōchū tōngi jiktēnā dihila māchirwa gōnsa tō. Tīnda tāmbu chūji chāmbit. Semban dōpa yon nandar xiexi namo ayar tamba. Lai ke to, lodo no yen ke, champun to do mayo ke na to, roa kanji drake chitsamba. Tamche ke nda chun dinjirwa xio. Hyoncho sencho rinpoche, ma hipa nam xiedirchi, hipa nyamba meba. Koni kondan perwa xio. Yesterday, we studied about taking refuge, which is the foundation stone of the teachings and also all the paths. And in the text says, in order to open the door way, entrance door, or like we want to enter inside the liberation path. That is like the need taking refuge. In order to open the door of the taking refuge, is necessary to develop lasting for stability about the faith devotion, and they are like kind of corresponding, and we came to say why we taking refuge, because it's like we concerning doing something benefit for every single sentient beings, or all the sentient beings, included ourselves. And in order to do some good things, and at the moment we ourselves, it is difficult to do really what is really benefit, what is not really not benefit. And like this is a kind of, relatively, it is a truth, because everything is, there is according or the follow up this true word, negative and positive. And like a kind of the externally, all our appearances, according to our own perspective of the mind, there are the positive and negative. And inner our mind is the movement of the mind, the expression of the mind. Also there is positive and negative. And also why we use the positive and negative, actually why we give this name, why we use this terminology. And it is very funny. And when we are using negative things, one is we hear the negative sound, we are panic, scaring, talking about negative. Sometimes negative is not negative. Negative is positive. And also sometimes we say positive, where sound is wonderful. And you hear this positive, oh, very good, sometimes negative. There's no certainty, but generally, like a speaking way, positive is positive, negative is negative. And we came to more coming close, more like kind of the we research. And positive, the means, the doing also is kind of the positive. And also the duration, also we can to say is like also positive. Then the result also positive. Then beginning, middle, the end also we say positive. If you ask some activity, or you ask some motivation, or you ask any kind of situations, how it is, you ask, or someone say that is very much positive. That means beginning positive, in the middle positive, result is positive. Then you say, why you say the positive? Because it's making me happy. It's making happy to whoever surrounded me. Like commonly everybody recognize that is the positive. We can to share and positive things, and everybody equally receive some happy, laughing, smiling, and also like kind of mind is become more calm. Even the sicknesses also disappear. That means positive bring happy in the mind, healthy into the body, and sweet sound into our speech. And therefore we call that positive. If you say it's like how is it going on, then all negative. And what is problems, and at like kind of the pain, turmoil, catastrophe, and like kind of there's maybe beginning, middle, the end like this. Then you more close. Why you call the negative? Because I'm happy, whoever surrounded me, and also not happy, mentally turmoil of the negative afflictions, and a lot of physically pain, and aggression, and a verb also nasty word, and also it's like cruel, there's ugly sentences coming out, and it's not very good. Then they call the catastrophe, and like kind of the awful situations. That means in the beginning, middle, then the end. And therefore, in the relatively, there is kind of we exaggerate, we give the name positive, negative. The reality also there is relatively there. And therefore, in the relative perspective, we want to do positive things, which is the benefit for our own sake or sake of the sentient beings. And in order to some positive things, maybe it is very difficult to ourselves to do it. We need to support from some else. Of course, we take refuge in the material things. Maybe it's like many there is. Someone's take refuge in alcohol. And someone's take refuge in drug. Someone's take refuge many different. And medicine, doctor. And of course, maybe I'm not sure it is really to help to ours. And this is like kind of the materialisms. But it's like kind of the some obviously sometimes it doesn't work. If you take refuge in alcohol, drug, medicine, some is like kind of the sense pleasures, and also it's a kind of the medicine, doctors. It doesn't work. And then we created some spirituality. And also we are taking refuge and in the spirituality, and may we think something in the mysteriously deity or God or create externally something. Maybe yes, maybe no, very much confused. But it's like in the Buddhist viewpoint, of course, it is also it's like a spiritual path. You can to say, because spiritual path is connected to the mind, like kind of a little bit mysterious. And according that you can call the spirituality in the Buddhism. And also in that perspective, we understood we need to do some positive things. And also we understood that ourselves very difficult to manage what is right or wrong, what is the cause, what is the not really good cause for the happiness, for the sorrows. And therefore we are taking refuge externally in the temporarily to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha in order to do some positive things. And also it's like we are researched in this world, human animals. And really it's like we take refuge in some other sentient beings. And in the like kind of the mysterious spiritual way, to take refuge in some create or some deities is absolutely mysterious. It works or not works, we totally don't know. But we are like kind of physically to like kind of visible way, and like kind of touchable, reachable, listenable. And that is like kind of we are researched. And maybe it's like we are taking refuge in some scholar, intelligent. Maybe someone has quite a good experience, and someone's dealt really is like what is the happiness, what is the sorrow. And then we discovered in this world, and the best mankind, that is the India guy, we call the Siddhartha, we call the enlightened man, and we call the Buddha Shakyamuni. And we are like kind of the very much interest in this person, and how it's like kind of he was in the beginning, how he applied his own path, how it is the finally like a kind of the eventually how his result. And that whole is a process we investigate to analyze. I think he is the most perfect person in this world. And for example, in our Westerns, we say it's like kind of the most precious mankind. It is the Jesus Christ. And also when we look at his biographies, it's extraordinary. We don't know really he's son of the God or not. He's descended from the heaven, or that is like his story of some spiritualities. But anyway, all the times very much compassionate, fully dedicated to the other sentient beings. And whatever they say, things is a truth. It is touchable and it is reachable. It is like kind of the seeable, and also it is like kind of listen. And that perspective, we are discovered this person, and also afterwards, more than the 2,500 years, there are such followers and received such benefit, happiness, millions human beings successed, maybe like most successful, they become the same great mankind of the, like Buddha himself. Even the, for example, like similarity of the Buddha in India, like kind of the great Mahatma Gandhi. And for example, in these days, we can to look at the in the millions people follow. It's like kind of the really representative of, or the to reach the level of the Buddha, and we can to see direct the holiness, the Dalai Lama, and his compassion, his wisdom, his activities, absolutely perfect, like kind of the superior human beings. If we become that everybody's like him, it's wonderful. All the time is happiness, like kind of the supporting all the over the in this planet. And this kind of signal science is wonderful. Therefore, we are follow the Buddha, and also it's like he's most scholar, experiencer, and he's like kind of the tested all the suffering and happiness. He really like kind of the big investigated what is the cause of the happiness, what is cause of the sufferings. Then finally he be enlightenment on the tree of the Bodhi tree. And then he's 42 years, more than the 42 years, he taught to us great methods, how we can to make liberation. And that methods we call the Dharma. And whoever follow the Buddha, practice the teaching of the Buddhas, it is extraordinary, not pretendly, serious, honest, directly practice the Buddha's teachings. This is the really honest, without like kind of deceptive or the like kind of this deceit, and truthful, faithful, reliable. And of course, or sometimes pretendly, I'm a Buddhist, like Dharma practitioners, but they are not really. Like they are cheater, they are ghost, they are like kind of the pretender. And really someone is to follow the Buddha's step and follow up the Buddha's teaching. 100% immediately we need to take refuge in this person. Extraordinary, that is obvious, that is the truth. And this person is like kind of the keeping that I often to say 10 positive actions, like kind of the get rid of the 10 negative actions. It is the pure, it is like kind of honest, it is the compassionate. Immediately there's no doubt we can to follow, we can to prostrate, we can to pray, we can take refuge in this person. And therefore, in the temporarily, if we can take refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha, and such the benefit, it can open our own wisdom, dispel all the ignorance, and it's such a kind of the giveness, really true giveness, and we become that kind of the advantageous human beings. And like we can to look really, if like someone has a great education of the dharmas, it's a wonderful. Then they don't need to any other kind of the source of the refuges. They are completely. They have the self-confidence. They have the totally their own manage their life in this. Also, is the arranging life of the futures. This kind of the wonderful signal science. Therefore, we are taking refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha. And then there's the approach of the taking refuge, and how to take refuge. And also it's like third chapter, it is the discipline. When we take refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha, there is such a kind of discipline. And also when we take refuge, there is such qualities and benefits. Now we are the last chapter, like a third chapter. There is a kind of discipline. There's a discipline. We need to abandon 3 things. We need to adopt 3 things. Similarity of the two like this. There's 3 things. There's 9 kind of the headings. And we are now, it's like what we need to abandon. And when we are taking refuge in the Buddha, we cannot take refuge in any worldly deities. Yesterday there is like kind of a lot of mentioned. And also when we take refuge in the Dharma, we cannot to harm, cannot disturb to other sentient. This is very, very important. Most we are Dharma practitioners, also Dharma practitioners. As much as we are hurting to the others, as much as a kind of insult, as much as like kind of the make a problem to others, we are very happy. Then it's like which kind of we are Dharma practitioners. All the time is holding the self-centered, and it's like concerning the I want everything. I want, like in the Dharma said, we should to realize the selflessness. But some pretender practitioner of the Dharmas, like kind of the make increase of the ego or intent, or the like kind of the more belief self-existence. And then it's like inner disturbing emotions very much increase, like a kind of the become the sensitivity of the, like in French you say escargot. It is like kind of spatial like insect, and you kind of touch a little bit, almost explode, very nervous, very aggressive, very kind of the all the times criticize to others, and amazing, very difficult to be together. And like kind of there's one practitioner say, I don't want to go to the middle of the Sangha. I don't want to go to the many together, because they are very fragile, they are very sensitivity, they are like called the Dharma practitioners, but they're full of the ego, graspy, very much arrogant, very much jealousy, very much disturbing emotion, very much like kind of the competitions, like many like this. Then is these practitioners, why I need to go to in the middle of there? This negative influence coming to me, and also it's like I myself, my mind stream is destroyed. So it is a truth. Sometimes like sanghas in the we talking about Dharma, do not hurting, do not disturb to other sentient beings. And we say I am a Dharma practitioner, but actually you are doing opposite of the Dharma. That we need to take care. If you really to want practice serious benefit Dharma practice, do not hurt, do not disturb to others. In the Dharma said, you should to help to other sentient beings. You should to respect to the other sentient beings. You should to diminish, discarded, to like kind of the scattered, eliminate your inner disturbing emotion. Like for example, in 84,000 teachings, they never say that you scattered or diminished, destroyed to the other sentient beings. One word I never heard from the Buddha's teachings. And in the Buddha's teachings, all the times, if you want to be enlightenment, you respect to others. You need respect to others. You help to other sentient beings. You need to think other sentient beings. Then the liberation path is near you. and your enlightenment is very fast, quickly. And in the Shantadeva said, it's like you look at the examples. Many sentient beings and beginnerless enter right now. They all the time is concerning the self. And all the time is, I want. They never ever succeeded. All the time is living in the cyclic existence. And the Buddha enlightened beings, they all the time, day and night, like kind of concentratedly thinking about benefit sentient beings. There is the consequence. There is like kind of the result, free from the samsara, free from the sufferings. It's naturally, automatically. That is that you look at your Shantadevas, you open your eye, you open your ear, you can look, you can listen, you can read, you can to check. And like this is obvious. And he said, do you believe or not? This is the obvious. Therefore, when we are taking refuge in the Dharma, very, very important to get rid of as much as we can to really disturbing to other sentient beings. And like someone say, I don't much practice Dharma, I don't much meditate, recitations, but I'm all the time to pray to the others, respect to the others. I never criticize in my life. So that is the Bodhisattva. You don't need to practice specifically Dharma. That is the Dharma. That is obviously you are embodiment of the Dharma. The someone is like a recitement trillions, billions, but all the time a critical person, like kind of curiosity, like checking the others' thoughts all the time. What is the mental recitations? And you recite the million, trillions recite, but you concern your benefit. Still maybe you are confused. Still you are not representative of the Dharma. And like this, someone says like every day taking the 4 sections, like a candle making the sound of the Dharma into the instrument. In the pattern which say the cling, 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 rock, 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 the bells and the damaras make noise to the neighborhood, families, everybody. If you say, what are you doing? I'm a practice Dharma, but inside full of the ego or intent and like self-centered, a lot of proud, lot of arrogant, and full of the disturbed emotions, competition, jealousy, and never kind of the respect to the others. And then it's what? You take 4 sessions, maybe you meditate generation stage, maybe creation stage or dissolution stage, what it is, I don't know. It is really also pattern which said that these things is you bring into the liberation, yes or no. He says, I have the doubt. If you practice the compassion, bodhicitta, really is like that is the frame of the Buddha's teaching. That is the resuming of the Buddha's teaching. This is the heart core of the Buddha's teaching, the compassion, kindness, respect to the other sentient beings, concern to other sentient beings. And that is that you are holding the heart essence of the Buddha's teachings. And then is you are the automatically great Dharma practitioners. It's like kind of really relevant. Externally you practice Dharma, but inside also you are Dharma practitioner. And therefore, when we practice taking refuge in the Dharma, we should take care to other sentient beings. And once we take refuge in the Sangha, and we cannot make association like kind of the any Tirthikas, any kind of the other, like kind of the against the Buddha Dharma, like there is such a different worldly and spiritually, also like completely against the dharmas. For example, dharmas, do not hurting, do not kind of disturb to the others, any sentient beings. For example, if we can to research the Dharma 84,000 inside, like kind of the one you say is like when you in order to practice Dharma and you need to disturb to other sentient beings, you need to kill to the other sentient beings, never. And also there's sometimes may you think there are some, it's like wrath force and like kind of subjugating like this. This is through the compassions, doing benefit for other sentient beings, doing benefit like ourselves, then you can make wrath for kind of the subjugating to the other sentient beings. Their ghost demons, not like this. Ghost and demons through the compassions, making wrathfully to helping to them. If you're not helping to them, there's no like kind of not Buddhist wrathful. Like this, therefore, is we cannot make associations. Today is that this paragraphs, I don't know which page yours, you need to look at the like this. Although there are no really Trattika in Tibet. Of course, it's like Patrul Rinpoche says, like more in a Tibetan situation. This is like kind of, there is, but it's like Guru Rinpoche and Shantarakshtas, Bhamalamatas, they establish Buddha Dharma in Tibet, very luckily, quite very much stable, very much kind of, how do you say, last for longer. But of course, it's like a human mind is very much changeable. And also like I make a kind of the joke. And once I was in some different countries, we talking about the causalities. And this person says like, in Tibetan peoples, like they say Buddhist, they believe the causalities, they all the time practice Dharma, they all the time is like kind of taking care of the causalities. But they are not like kind of lot of disaster things, and the Chinese occupied, how many is problems. Then it's which kind of sort of problem in Tibet. Then it doesn't work what you are doing. Say, I make joke, it's like, yeah, that is truth. Like whoever in Tibetan, like peoples follow up the karma and practice Dharma, they reborn most beautiful countries, like Europe, most like kind of good things. For example, many other countries, like kind of doing negative things, they reborn again, and difficult situations, they like kind of reborn again in snowland, in the like kind of the there. And therefore, this is like kind of karma all the times, we don't know, it's changes. And that means it's like most practitioners, the Tibetans, they're born in different countries. And we next time is maybe we reborn in the Tibet. Oh yes, you take care of them, this kind of happens. And like for example, you can take example, in the hell and in the hunger ghost, when whoever there is a habitant, whoever living, they purified, they kind of, after they purified, they like kind of the cause in the reborn there, they disappeared. Then who's coming back? Not they are coming back again. Another sentient beings are coming to theirs, like they're doing negative things. Like this, and in Tibet, it's like most times it's really wonderful, because it's like before the Buddha Dharma came, in Tibet it's not a holy place. It is like you can call the barbarians, maybe barbarians, because it's like Buddha Shakyamuni is like kind of the during he was, maybe it's like he said, my teachings going to more in the like the north side, and like this there is also it's like his prophecy, and going to in Tibet. And that time is Buddha was in India, that time is in Tibet. It's a quite large country, like a population is very small, but also there's such disaster things. They're killing each other, they all the time several wars, and everywhere there's a robbery, there is like thief, there all the times one village is like attacked to and another village, and everywhere you call the kingdom. In Tibet, how many kingdoms? Like a king. Then these kings attack into this king, like small. Each kingdoms may be a few thousand people, but they call the kingdom. This is similarities the world widely. And after it's like a kind of there's some great kings, and really Buddha Dharma king, like we call the compassion. They united in Tibetan, Eastern, so like kind of the Western, and the like three provinces, and be together, and like kind of the called the Tibet. And then slowly it's Buddha Dharma came, and then so wonderful things happened. Most intelligent, most like kind of the wise scholars is become the practitioner of the Dharma. They become the great master. There's a kind of no organized like master structures, weapons, armies, and of course it's not very good. Some in the modern people, they say, Buddhist lamas, they never do like this. They never prevented the enemies. They never organized any army, weapon like this. Then we lost our countries. Of course, we lost country. One hand, that's not very good. Other hand, it's wonderful. If you like make a war, and how much during the Second World War, millions, our brother and sister, families is killed, like kind of the murdered, and go under this war. It's not very nice, that is. And you give up. Really, it's like you need to begging. You cannot they accept. It's like you need to give up. Like also it happened in India. Of course, sometimes India good, but there's two kingdoms making war. One kingdom has no army, and this king is collect all the monks. They say you need to go to soldier, because now we haven't got army. We are going to losing countries. And then the monks say, we cannot kill to the others, but we cannot to like kind of the reject the king order. Okay, let's go. We need to die on the battle. And then they make like kind of the wood gun, wood sword. That a very nice painting. And then they made war. Of course, and other enemies, they killed most of them. And then they killed, and then they check. They are not using really weapon. Or everything's weapons like wood. And then someone catched. They say, why are you doing like this? Because we are the follower of the Buddha. We are practitioner of Dharma. We cannot to kill. Instead to killing to others, we wanted to die. And then these other enemies, this kingdom, they completely sympathetic, and they completely give up. They say, you are the winner. We don't want to say. Then the result is very good. Like this, actually, even though you lose your lives, you like taking care to others. Like this, maybe it's like Guru Rinpoche, Shantara, they call according their blessings. It's not really coming to tikas in Tibet. Of course, they're slowly, there's many different moderns they're changing. I'm not sure how long Buddha Dharmas to stay in Tibet. This is like very unpredictable. At the moment, it's fantastic. It's true. And you should also avoid getting involved with anyone who acts like a Tatika. Yes, there is like now it's more and more in the modern situations. And like Buddhist people, they say it's like you don't need to kill, you don't need to make a war, you don't need to like. For example, look at the holiness. He all the time says a middle way, benefit for you, benefit me, everybody says. Many Tibetan young people, they hesitated this one, hated against the holiness. We want to kill our enemies. Of course, that is like their perspective is the true. And then it's like kind of they criticize the Buddha, they criticize the Dharma, they criticize the Sangha, they like kind of slowly, Buddhism is religious. We don't. Of course, maybe slowly it's like become the similarity of the Tatikas. And this kind of, or it's like who insulted and the criticize your teacher, your own teacher, and someone's criticized Dharma, like a teacher means Buddha or your teacher or the path of the Dharma. For instance, who like kind of the denigrate the profound teachings of the secret Mantrayanas. For example, denigrate means it's like, it sometimes says like, Tibetan Buddhism is maybe, says like, for example, sometimes like competition, challenge, says, or like Tibetan Buddhism is not really Buddhist, or like Chinese Buddhism is not really Buddhist, or Japanese Buddhism not really Buddhist. Thailand Buddhism is like, if you go to the Thailand, they say the Thailand Buddhism is a really Buddhist, others not really. If you go to in China, maybe Chinese Buddhism is really Buddhism, but others not. If you go to Tibet or Tibetan Buddhism, like them, others is not really. If you go to the Japan or Japanese Buddhism is really Buddha's teaching, others is not really. This kind of try to like kind of the denigrate, like kind of the black other ones, and like kind of criticize. For example, if you go to in Tibet, sometimes like kind of the sutta practitioner, they say, Secret Mantrayanas is not really Buddha, he taught. And he taught only the like suttas yanas, secret Mantrayanas is maybe we don't know. Look, for example, like there is such a kind of the against the Vinayana Patimoksha's vows. There's such a doing things. It's not really said because it's like they do not understand the realities. This sort of criticism, like kind of critical these things, we do not need to involve. We need to our own maintain to really to research the Buddha Dharma. When we take refuge in the Sangha, never ever make associations. Someone's criticized to your own teacher or Buddha, someone's criticized the Dharma, and like this, I think it's like someone is like criticized the Buddha Dharma. Like this is, you don't necessarily be angry, but you don't need to make the society. And of course, it's really your own teachers like this. This is like obviously very much kind of the opposite. Really, it is the truth. For example, it's like you if you have your own teacher, maybe someone's like you, this person don't like, maybe criticize a lot, and then you make the friend to them, and you like kind of sometimes criticize your teacher, and then you go to in the Dharma teaching times, you go to listen. That is the very, 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 very funny. I would say it's like embarrassing things, very much embarrassing things, like we call the like two fees. And it's like sometimes you go to decide, okay, you together to criticize your teacher, yeah. Maybe for example now we can to say like in sometimes against the holiness. You go to there, holiness is not holiness, holiness is fake, holiness blah 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 blah, and you say, okay, that is truth, yes. And then it's this you separate, and the holiness is coming, you go to in the front of holiness, you are holiness, wonderful, your teaching. I think it's very much embarrassed in ourselves. Better to don't go to listen to the teachings. And like this, sometimes it's really even our own individual very much shame inside. And therefore, if you really take refuge in your own teacher or the Buddha, and then it's like someone's against Buddha Dharma and your teachers, and you make associate that, I think your Dharma path is not very much to works. 100% I give you guarantee. there is like kind of, for example, in Tibet, if someone is like really broken the samayas, really like this, and then these own students like kind of never go near it. They said it's like kind of the obscuration. We call that is a tamnyak. It is like kind of the, this person is the both of the water like rivers sitting, and in the water coming down, they never drink. Even they don't want to see this kind of person. Oh yes, this person's broke samaya, my root teacher. I don't want to see. Of course, there's no associated, but even like this, they take care. We say it's like one sick frogs, 100 frogs kind of damages. For example, in the Sangha, you have like one like broken like this, and then you go middle of like this, you took two others. It's a kind of the destroying. That is maybe better to take care. If someone's against the Buddha Dharma, your own teachers, you don't need to make society associations. You don't need to criticize, just equally. And you want to really like, for example, these days, maybe it's like sometimes I can to take examples. Holiness Dalai Lama, also someone's criticized, but some is like his own student. They not criticize to those against the holiness, just like kind of the to leave them. Okay, whatever they say, that you don't need to criticize to them. You don't need to make association with them. You just live like whatever their responsibilities. And it's like this. That is very important. Okay, that is the finished. Now it's like the three things to be done, similarities. It is like the 1.2. And having taken refuge in the Buddha, like kind of the, then there is the honor and the respect. Even a tiny piece of broken statue representing him, raise at above your head and eat somewhere clean, and have faith and they perceive it with pure vision, consider it as the true jewel of the Buddha. That's right. And it's like kind of the any kind of the piece of the like break statues, any kind of statues representative of the like kind of the Buddha himself, raise like kind of the peak to respect, to put there in the head, and like kind of the to clean, to put some clean place, your perspective. And maybe everybody's like kind of go over, everybody's put in the rubbish. Doesn't matter, whatever they do, they do. You have like kind of the vows of the refugees. You need to take care. And it's like any kind of statue, any kind of like a picture of the Buddhas, your own teachers never ever put under your mattis, under your chair, under the, sometimes it's like, now we are educated like about the refuge vows. And sometimes it's like they put on the sofa, in the sofa is empty. There's sometimes books, statues, many like Buddha's things to put, very embarrassed. And it's like this. Even the Ami says in my home, there is one, the like sofa, and you can put things. I'm often asked to, there's even the tea bags, and like a kind of any picture of the Buddha Dharma, there's something we cannot to put like so under the you. This is not, it's like maybe Buddha Dharma is no problem. Whatever you do, even you put in the toilet, there's no problem. But we destroy ourselves, like kind of our accumulation, our like kind of good things, good merit, we destroy. Like a kind of, if we respect to the very important object, that much we received something accumulation, that much kind of the benefit, blessings coming. Therefore, it's like any kind of the statues, nice or beautiful or any, even the broken piece of the statues, you should to consider it representative to Buddha, to like kind of the race in the above, and your head, put it clean and faith and perceive it like kind of pure vision to this is the piece of representative the Buddha, like take a refuge in it. It's very important. And then it's like next one, Dharma said, having the taking refuge in the Dharma, respect even a fragment is like the piece of the letter of the paper hearing a single syllable of the scriptures. Place it above your head and consider it to be the true jewel of the Dharma. Like this, for example, in the very good like kind of the persons, they never any kind of letters, they never go over, they never put under the like kind of the matters or the chairs. They all the times respect. That is like a best humanities. For example, it's like generally speaking, later is like the kind of the written later. Our language later is very important. It's like kind of our teacher, like kind of the through this we can to communicate. We receive a lot of benefit. Of course, it's like kind of the Dharma, any kind of Dharma scriptures, like a fragment of the papers, wherever there piece of or one syllable meant like later these things never put like kind of under you, never go over your feet or like kind of your leg, or the times to put high and raising like kind of the up and put in your above head and like the consider it is like the representative, the true jewel of the Dharma, very important. And then this third one is the having taken refuge in the Sangha, consider anything and symbolized it, be it not more than a patch of red or yellow cloth, as the true jewels of the Sangha, honor and respect, rising above your head, put it somewhere, clean and regarded it with faith and pure vision, like a kind of the true jewel of the Sanghas. And this is very, very important. For example, if you go to in Tibet, someone is even that they never wearing yellow, red colors. Some lay persons, they never wearing because they think it's the yellow and the red, like kind of the monks' cloth. The monks' cloth is like the representative of the monks and the Sanghas. And therefore sometimes some people, they all the times wearing black, blue, white. They never wearing any kind of the like yellow and red things. Maybe if they like wearing this, maybe it's a little scaring because I'm insulting, I'm not like kind of respect, I'm disrespect to the my Sangha. I have refuge vows, I need to respect the Sangha. This is the representative of the Buddha's color, and this is representative of the Sangha. It here is said like kind of the piece of the patch, just a small size of like this patch, and red or the yellow, this color, red yellow, it is like kind of the most Buddha's color. Why he is using this red and yellow? Normally you can do say red is representative of the compassion, yellow is the representative of the wisdoms, and this combination is like kind of the representative of the compassion and wisdoms. And this is like kind of someone's you wearing this monk cloth, you can to respect. That means you are carrying compassion and the wisdoms. And then you can to trust, you can to take like a refuge, you can to respect this most object and helper of the sentient beings. And also it is like the monks, they need to wearing this color. Why? It is like kind of protect to your vows, it's a reminder to you the Buddha's teachings. You wearing this monk, this cloth, like yellow and red, these things, then you have like kind of the sign, like kind of the evidence, mark, like kind of the, you are the protector of the sentient beings, you are the practitioner of the Dharma. That's, for example, we can do modern examples here. For example, someone is like police. If this police is carry a gun, carrying weapons, and he has specific diplomas like carrying, everybody recognize, this is the police. Maybe we can to ask to like kind of the protectors. And also this person's wearing like this person's also cannot do criminal things. Yes, I am the like protector of the peoples, and I need to taking care of others. It's like coding my cloth. If you wearing policies like the material attributes and you do criminal, then it's very ugly. And then afterwards it's like difficult. Of course, there are such they're doing it, but this is a symbolic in the like our communities. Someone will give name of the police and give these tools and these diplomas. You need to protect to our people, like kind of this, and to make peace, to make harmony, to make taking care, to guard all our like kind of human beings. They cannot kill each other, they're stealing each other, they need to help each other. This can use. Then we kind of the trust to the police. If it's like something is problems, we can say, officer, the officer. We are like kind of the yelling or the shouting or calling to the self. If like kind of the police is like sometimes they're criminals, of course there are, but generally most times they dedicated to really like this kind of like the, of course not compare that, but it's Buddha like the Dharma practitioner, the sanghas. Of course, their weapon is the compassion. Their weapon is like kind of the wisdom. They like carrying the diploma of the Dharma. And then the wearing of this like kind of the cloth and yellow and red. And then it's like someone is like to see other sentient beings. They like kind of the taking refuge. There is a kind of the histories. One is a deer like kind of animals. And generally this is true. Like he proceeded like there's some mountain. There are like kind of the many practitioners. They really sometimes they're very much close animals. They sometimes together. Those animals slowly, they're never afraid. Like this. Particularly someone's wearing yellow clothes, like monk cloth. They're more happy like this. But like one day, one is like hunters. If they see the hunters, they immediately run away as much as this. And then one is like a hunter, he wearing monk cloth, and then he's like kind of the hiding the gun and clothes. Then this deer is like kind of of course it's not like kind of speaking, but or maybe this wearing monk cloth, maybe my protector. Even killing to me is okay. And then he, of course, this hunter's killed. Like this kind of there's big histories, and they like slowly. Then hunters maybe better when we kill, we can wearing them, but the animals never run for ourselves. Like this is like if you go to Buddhist countries, someone's wearing the monk cloth, they automatically they have faith, devotions. Really, in my life, I have a lot of really good experience. I told you, once I'm traveling from Amdo to like some in the area, I was very much dirty monk cloth. It's really maybe years I never cleaned. Of course, also I'm come from the very much poor families, not really nice, elegant cloth, but it's a monk cloth. And then once it's traveling, I'm begging the food coming. And one person is like very, very elegant, handsome, looks like rich. And he came too close to me and he asked me, says like, where are you going? I'm going there. And he helped me. And kind of my bag he carrying. He say, if you can to riding my horse, though, I can go. I said, no, it's okay. Then we together came but he's going to, where am I going? One families. When we arrived there, of course, it's like their friend, they're very good. He's very good, rich families. But we have entered inside, and then this like the families, they put me most highest one. And the first times they serve us food to me, not him. And he is like more below than me, and is like kind of after the me, they serve us the tea. And then we like talking in the evening. Of course, I need to sleep there. He also stayed there. But then it's like, for me, is they make very nice bed on the top corner of the yak tent. He says something there is okay, that's no problems. They can just kind of family, they together sleep it. But it's, then I thought, maybe who knows, inside me and this guy, maybe his guys is more compassion, more kindness, much better than me. But this cloth, monk clothes, they say you wearing monk clothes, then they respect, they think this is the like maybe practitioner of the compassion, practitioner of the like kind of dharma. They take refuge like this, according the cloth. And therefore it's like to wearing the cloth is very important like this. And therefore we are respect to the cloth. The true chula of the Sangha, honor and respect, raising it above your head, pure it is somewhere, clean and regard it is the fifth visions. Last time is just a kind of the experience, okay? It is like in Dharma City, there is one American nuns. I don't know, she came and says like one, she washed her clothes, and one is like our student, it will make mistake, and their clothes washed together, and she's a little angry. My superiors, my holy clothes, you wash your dirty, like kind of like normal clothes. And then some students, like kind of said, what is the difference? Why not she say like this? But she respects to her clothes. Maybe it's like she says, my holy clothes. That means it's like a monk cloth, for she's wearing it, but she respect to the cloth. I was very much like kind of enthusiastic, wonderful. That is like, for example, like even it's like we carrying like this cloth. It's like kind of the given by the Buddha and the Dharmas. It is the representative. Therefore, it is very important. Okay, maybe we need to stop there is. Okay. Okay, today we can to start 11 o'clock. Like 25 minutes, yes? Not 15 minutes. 25 minutes post, because they don't want to make coffee me. I want drink coffee or tea. You know that is the yeah.